Brother Daniel Natale, one of the closest spiritual sons to Saint Padre Pio, died during surgery and experienced purgatory for 3 hours. Here is his story. If you'd like to support this channel in any way, please do so through Buy Me a Coffee. Let's get right into it. Brother Daniel Natale was a Capuchin who devoted himself to helping the wounded and needy during World War II. He is said to have had numerous charisms, including bilocation, the power to cast out demons, and the gift of reading people's minds and hearts. His experience of death and purgatory and his return to life became the foundation of his unique spiritual mission. It was he who received the extraordinary grace of conveying Padre Pio's blessing to servant of God, Father Dolindo Rotolo, just before his departure to the Father's house. Brother Daniel was one of the closest spiritual sons of St. Padre Pio. He met Padre Pio for the first time at the age of 5 during a visit to San Giovanni Rotondo. A few years later, the Italian stigmatist became his spiritual director. They were like twins, both in body and soul, wrote Matteo Bevilacqua, author of a book on the mystical life of the saint of Pietrelcina's confrere. In 1952, Brother Daniel was diagnosed with spleen cancer. The first thing the friar did was to pass his news on to his close friend in San Giovanni. The stigmatist referred Brother Daniel specifically to the Regina Elena Clinic and to an atheist doctor, Professor Riccardo Moretti, in Rome. "Do not be afraid, I will be with you all the time," the holy mystic assured him. At first, the doctor refused to perform an operation because the disease was already at an advanced stage. However, at the Capuchin's insistence, the doctor agreed to perform it. Brother Daniel fell into a coma after the operation and died 3 days later. Relatives gathered around his body to pray. After 3 hours, the friar removed the sheet covering his body, stood up, and began to speak. He said that after death, he stood before God. He saw him as a loving father, not a judge who was only waiting to hold him accountable for all the sins he'd committed on earth. Brother Natale realized that the Creator cared for him every day, even though he didn't always respond to that love. The Capuchin was then sentenced to 3 hours in purgatory. The pain was terrible and intense, especially in the senses of the body, which most offended God. The most painful thing was the feeling of separation from the Creator. The pain was unbearable. I didn't know where it came from, but I felt it intensely. The senses that most offended God, namely the eyes and the tongue, suffered the most. It was indescribable, unbelievable. And all this, he added, was only for the breaking of my vows of poverty, for those few lira that, instead of giving to my superiors, I used them for what I thought were good causes, but according to my own judgment. What's most painful in purgatory isn't the fire, although it's intense, but the feeling of being separated from God and the awareness that one had all the means of salvation at one's disposal and didn't use them, Natale recalled. The Capuchin also saw the Blessed Virgin Mary. Brother Daniel asked the Mother of God to intercede for him with God the Father and give him the opportunity to return to earth. Suddenly, Padre Pio appeared next to Mary and asked Our Lady to ease his friend's pain. Natale was pardoned. This experience led Brother Daniel to carry out a unique mission of converting hearts after his return to earth. Brother Daniel was also known for his love of Mary. However, he wasn't always able to concentrate on reciting the Rosary. I loved the Mother of God and the Rosary fervently, yet in moments of physical or spiritual breakdown, I couldn't bring myself to pray a single decade. The thoughts of the dozens of decades of the Rosary haunted me. 50 Hail Marys? Oh, will I be able to say them? Sometimes I'd start praying again, but I'd be overcome by a strange anxiety and intrusive thoughts. When will I ever get to the end? That is why sometimes I didn't even pick up the Rosary, he recalled. A mystical encounter with Mary, who appeared to him in a dream, changed his attitude toward this prayer. The Mother of God said to him, "Say the Rosary, son." I replied, sobbing, "How can I do that? I can't." Then she said, "I will help you. We'll pray it together. Ask me in prayer for whatever you want, and I will grant your request." His simple yet powerful story reminds us to be aware of the ways in which we sin against God. There will be where we suffer in our soul. So there is where here on earth we should do atonement. If we sin with our eyes, to go to adoration and gaze with our eyes upon the Lord Jesus, to atone specifically for this sin. If we sinned with our ears, to offer them charitably to others, to hear their pain. If we sinned with our tongue, to instead of gossiping, speaking good of other people, spreading the good things that others have done instead of their mistakes. In these ways, we can be reminded from his experience that everything will be judged, and specifically the ways in which we have sinned, we should atone for there. My friends, if this has helped you in any way, please subscribe and support this channel through Buy Me a Coffee. I'll see you in the next one.